Hello everyone and welcome back to more Grisaia. Fruit of Grisaia, actually. In the last episode, we ended up having a wonderful lunchtime with Sakiki where the girls ended up just being horribly mean to her the whole time, and Michiru came out the winner through a complete fluke. But she plays it off like it was our big plan all along. But at that moment, everyone else freezes in pure shock. With a quick survey of our surroundings, I soon learn why. I don't miss Amane mouthing the word idiot with a slight smug look on her face either. Her reaction to defeat is to plot revenge, it would seem. Quite a woman. Quite a woman.
でもこれで本当にユミコと少しは仲良くなれたのかしら。
See, that was the end goal, the plan, but the plan was so demented that I failed to see how this would have done nothing to bridge the... I mean, if anything, it's made the gap wider. Because now she's not going to want to associate with anybody. Except maybe me. We didn't take part in it. We were just scorekeeper. She doesn't know that, though. No, I think not. Sorry.
なんでよ。多分ミチルがもう無事じゃいられないからかな。どういう意味よそれ。
わざとだったのね、あれ。
With a familiar, ominous sound, the shadowy figure that snuck up behind Michiru mutters a few ice-cold words. The smile on Michiru's face instantly hardens into a rigid grimace. Copious streams of sweat begin to run down her forehead and along her cheeks.
どうして教えてくれなかったのよ。
At last aware of her plight, Michiru squeezes out a few whimpering words of reproach. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I just noticed a moment ago myself.
黙ってなさいって目で脅されててごめんね。可愛らしく言うな。つかまね。あんた分かってて私に聞いたでしょ。てへてへんじゃねえ。でも安心しました。みちる様にはふさわしい終わり方でほっとしています。ほっとすんな。
Stop being relieved.
一見落着なのよさ。なあ、ユミちゃんも。
That was a good anime. Didn't you ever watch Case Closed? Oh man, it's like a detective show. It's cool.
わかってると思うけど、当然あなたたちも絶対に許さないから。
Should have seen that.
ほら、ある意味仲良くなったと思わない？
I don't think she does. You're such an optimist, Amane. You fail to see the horrible, ominous future that is going to happen.
私はどうしたら？
Well, probably the same thing as the rest of us. Retreat double time.
ちょっと待ちなさいよ。
それはこっちのセリフだわ。
This day would go down as the first time in the Academy's history that all of its students were simultaneously absent from a class. But it's said that no one involved dared speak the reason why. July 1st. Our daily habits have become part of who we are. That goes for everything from the natural routines like washing your face or brushing your teeth, to the obsessive rituals like always moving your left leg first when you walk. I know I don't run every single day for some conscious reason. The habit's just ingrained into my personality by this point. It doesn't matter how tired I am. I guess it doesn't matter if I'm pouring rain. It doesn't really matter if the wind's blowing me all over the road. Even when I get a little sick, I'm out there running like it's a cure for the common cold. 16 kilometers every morning like clockwork. In 1 month, that's 496. In a year, 5,840. When you work it out, I'm running the distance to Singapore annually with change to spare. Pretty respectable distance, if I do say so myself. Not that I'm particularly aiming to go see the Merlion or try out the famous chicken rice. My itinerary is strictly local. Every day I make my way around the outer walls of the school, past the shuttered stores of the shopping district, and by a few poorly maintained Shinto shrines. Every day I take in the same coastal scenery. I mean, it might sound repetitive, I guess. But I don't really feel any need to change my standard course. Running a familiar road on a familiar pace makes for better training, really. That said, my route isn't completely set in stone. For example, if I happen to notice an acquaintance nearby, I'll sometimes head in their direction. Not that I chase people around town, of course, that would be silly. I just catch up and offer a brief greeting. Just, seems like the polite thing to do, you know? I mean, especially when they're a school friend of mine. I don't want to seem cold or distant. This morning, as I'm following my standard marathon route around the Academy's campus, I catch sight of Michiru. Matsushima Michiru. I had planned to do 3 quick laps around the school before heading towards the station, like I usually do, but Michiru's appearance gives me pause. Even from a distance, her body language is clearly unusual. From the way she's trudging along the road with her shoulders slumped, you'd think a force of gravity operating at double strength in her immediate vicinity. Something seems distinctly off with the girl. And then again, it's still very early in the morning. I don't want to disturb her privacy. Probably better not to call out to her. As I make my way through the shopping district, I try to think of reasons why Michiru wouldn't leave the school at such an early hour. She's a little young to be heading to a public park for radio calisthenics, so what's her objective? When I happen to spot the girl for the second time in this one training session, my curiosity, I'm ashamed to admit, proves hard to suppress. This time, I'm running along the coast, when I notice her blonde hair dead ahead. She's walking slowly up the same road, her head is slightly bowed. At this rate, I'll catch up to her very soon. When I overtake her, I can just say quick hello. Yeah. But Michiru abruptly turns off my route. Before I have the chance to say anything, she's vanished down a side path. Having completed my standard 16 kilometers, I return to the dorm as usual. Usually I'd take a quick shower next, but the uncharacteristic melancholy I could see Michiru even from a distance seems to have left an oddly strong impression on me. It's weighing on my mind. We're classmates after all. Can't hurt to stick my neck in every once in a while, right? Mumbling something of an excuse to myself, I wipe the sweat from my neck with a towel, then head back outside the school grounds. I don't understand people who dream about living in a house by the sea. The ocean breeze makes everything rust, and the moisture makes it hard to dry your laundry. If a seaside town sounds romantic, you've probably never lived in one. Sure, I mean, you can come to love your home wherever it may be, obviously, but I assure you, there's nothing idyllic about drunken teenagers partying on the beach for months at a time, especially given their tendency to launch fireworks at midnight. Alright then, I'm pretty sure she was headed this way. I found Michiru seated on a high ridge overlooking the sea, aimlessly gazing at the distance. I approach slowly, but she appears oblivious to my presence, consciously taking loud, conscious steps to no apparent effect. The girl's carelessness exceeds my expectations. She's crumpled into herself like a load of laundry long forgotten in the hamper. More than anything else, she looks worn out, I guess. Exhausted even, almost like a completely different person. Not like the happy, cheerful, bubbly Michiru of old. I can hear the sound of waves in the distance. The sunlight is gentle this morning, the weather fair and pleasant. The location isn't bad either, but if this is an early morning picnic, she's forgotten to bring food. Michiru? The fastest way to figure out what she's doing here is probably just to ask her. She doesn't respond to my voice. What's wrong? Waiting to get picked up by the garbage truck? In that case, you've got to correctly label yourself as oversized waste. They can't pick up bottle blondes if you just dump one on the curb, you know? Normally, a remark like this would be met by an indignant, cryptic shriek of "Mickey!" as soon as it left my mouth. But today I get nothing. Just what is going on with this girl? I rapidly review and analyze Michiru's recent behavior. Okay, just what do we have here? Doesn't take long for me to reach an extremely plausible hypothesis. All the pieces fall into place. I see, so that's what's going on. Why didn't I realize it sooner? Careless, very careless. Damn. I finally gotten a grasp of the situation. Specifically, the nature of Michiru's bodily distress. Michiru, has your dysentery taken a turn for the worse? You should have told me. Why suffer in silence? Okay, first order of business. I need to look at your stool to confirm the progression of the disease. Hurry up out with it. When I grabbed Michiru's shoulders with both hands and began shaking her vigorously, there's finally a response. I was half convinced she'd fainted sitting up, but things don't seem to be quite that serious. My God. Good question. Why am I here? What do you think? Michiru may have recognized my presence, but her normal bristly attitude is notable by its absence. It's not that her armor has fallen off, it just feels as though she isn't aware of her own state of vulnerability. Why am I here? That would be because I came here. Therefore, here I am. Do you understand? Wherever you go, there you are. Either way, that's a little importance at the moment. Produce a stool sample at once. Cut the back talk, maggot. You're the one who ate contaminated food. Here I am, kindly offering to examine your stool as a favor to my classmate. And this is your attitude? Evacuate your bowels at once. What is that supposed to mean? Are you implying my mental picture of you as fundamentally flawed? I think that's what she's implying. I picture you in the mountains, discovering colorful toadstools. You tried to shriek, "Oh my god, what's this?" It's like so cute. But before the so's out of your mouth, it's stuffed full of mushrooms. You're dead seconds later. Okay, let me ask you instead. What kind of image do you think your acquaintances have of you? I'm curious. That's pretty convincing why. We both know it's not true. If you don't want to find one, why are you chasing it around in the first place? Sadly, I find your explanation incoherent. And that image of you lying dead in the forest with mushrooms spilling out of your mouth doesn't seem to be going anywhere. My apologies. Certainly my impression of Michiru up to today has been similar to her description of a constantly cheerful idiot girl. But today she's got none of the usual vigor, and her tsundere act has all but disappeared. When women act differently from normal, that time most likely causes that time of the month. But we're dealing with a girl here, going through a difficult age. One must put these questions delicately, or it'll be awkward to answer. I lower my voice and beckon Michiru closer with my hand. Michiru. Michiru draws her face near. I put the matter to her in the most gentlemanly way I know how. Are you menstruating? I thought it'd be better than shouting, but it seems our opinion's different. But if I don't ask, I'll never understand. Alright then, is it an iron deficiency? That won't just give you anemia, you know. Makes it easier to catch colds as well. There's no reason to stuff yourself with vitamin C like an idiot if you forget to eat anything else. You need balance, alright? Balance! So it's not anemia, not menstruation, and not a nutritional deficiency. I'm out of ideas. What's actually going on here?
それはそうな。
It's fine. I mean, even if it feels hard to talk about, you can just throw it at me straight. I've been in the field a long time, I've seen a lot of things. You're probably not gonna shock me. Trust me.
それはね、あのね、
Yes? What is it?
海を見てた。
Oh, looking at the sea. Oops. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's a nice photo. Ah, looking at... Wait, say what?
だから海を見てたのよ。
The sea? The sea, as you can see. Michiru gives a quick, embarrassed nod, her eyes downcast. Looking at the sea. I ruminate carefully at these words. Just what hidden meaning lurks inside this brief cryptic cipher of a sentence? I know of a certain Japanese organization that refers to its maneuvering grounds as the mountains. Alright, so what would the sea indicate? Nothing really comes to mind. I'm sorry, Michiru. When you say the sea, what exactly are you referring to?
海は海でしょ？
The sea is the sea, which would make looking the key word, right? I had assumed you were indicating some sort of special surveillance mission. Was I missing some crucial context?
はい。いや、単純に海を見てたのよ。意味なんてないよ。
Yushi's pretty dense at times. Like, come on. She's sitting here looking at the ocean. I don't understand what's so difficult to grasp about it. Why does there have to be some deep mystical meaning? Some, people can't just look out at the ocean once in a while. What was that? You were literally... You were just looking at the ocean? Seriously?
うん。
Explain yourself. I'm baffled. You were staring at a giant saltwater puddle for no reason whatsoever?
そうよ。何か問題でもあるの？
Of course there is. The first and biggest problem is that you don't see anything wrong with it. Listen carefully. Time is not an infinite resource. You only get so much. Our lives are brief. How to make use of precious time we're given is an absolutely essential problem. I mean, it's one thing if you're never given the opportunity to make your own choices. Some people spend their whole lives following orders from others. If that's the only path open to you, then you just have to deal with it the best you can. But you, my friend, have the good fortune to be a free human being. And you're choosing to use your time staring at the sea for no reason at all? I find that extremely hard to understand, to be honest. As your classmate, I officially request that you produce an acceptable reason for looking at the ocean. Understood?
さ、難しく考えすぎじゃない？綺麗だなーって思って、ただ海を見てただけじゃない。それでよくない？特別な理由がどうしても必要なの？
Can I conceive of this as a rest and relaxation period? I don't think I can accept it unless there's some sort of concrete meaning to your actions.
じゃあ、それでいいわよ。海を見てリラックスしてたのよ。
I see. Have to say, you didn't really seem to be enjoying it much.
そんなことないよ。
Michiru squints her eyes against the sea breeze. Her expression belies her words. This explanation seems dubious at best. But then again, I suppose it was foolish of me to expect any coherent logical basis for this woman's behavior.
風が気持ちいい。
We stand below the vivid, clear summer sky, utterly wasting our time. Things are going to continue along these lines. It'd be more productive to return to the dorm now and just read for a while. Michiru, my friend, have you considered the possibility that this abnormal desire to view the ocean is the product of some sort of bacterial infection in your brain? Maybe? No?
考えられません。
Then perhaps there's a cap in your family tree? No, wait, they're lived in rivers. Damn. What's this? Let me see your head for a second.
何
Shut your mouth and present me your cranium. Don't give me any trouble.
だってもしかして頭にお皿
I pull Michiru's head towards me and quickly pluck out a single hair. Among her mass of thoroughly bleached blonde locks, there was a single pure black strand.
終わったお皿割った
What, did the cap ancestor ring any bells? Not to worry though, nothing's broken. I just pulled out a black hair for you. Kind of strand that stands out when it's surrounded by a sea of blonde. No matter how much effort you put in, you're probably going to miss a few hairs like this, unless you have someone else take a look for you.
そうなんだありがとう
You've got some cucumber bits around your mouth, by the way.
ああそんな冗談ばっかり言ってないで幼児も見てみなよ海を
I'll pass. Why bother looking at it? It's the same as it was yesterday, and tomorrow, and the day after that. I think the ocean will get along just fine even if I don't sit around standing there staring at it.
いいから見てみなよほら
I give in to her pestering and stare out the ocean. As expected, there have been no dramatic developments since the last time I saw it. Still blue, still wet, still cold.
なんかさ海って大きいよね
The sea may be the same as always, but Michiru is clearly different today. The tone of her voice is strange. True enough, 70% of the Earth is covered in the oceans. Huge is a relative concept, but I think this would qualify by a more typical standard of comparison.
そんな風に言うと思ったんだ面白いね
Michiru laughs, inexplicably amused by my simple statement of fact. But in the next moment, that unusually serious expression is back on her face.
あのね私こう思うんだこの海に比べたら人間ってちっぽけな存在だよねこの大きな海を見てると私の悩みなんてちっぽけすぎて笑えてきちゃうんじゃないかなーって
Michiru brazenly fires off a set of lines you can normally only hear the likes of in the corniest of decades-old made-for-TV teenage drama fests. If she's not intentionally quoting something, this is about as hackneyed and cliched as it gets.
今私結構いいこと言ったんじゃね
What's more, she's not remotely sheepish about her trite words. Fascinating. Maybe I'll just have to take a look inside her head to see how the machinery works. She's clearly got a few screws loose already. Should pop open easily enough. Yeah, maybe it was. But in the end, I decide to affirm her statement. It's the fact that humans are the only part of... It's the fact that humans are only one part of the greater whole of nature. It might be cliche to reflect on the transitory nature of our existence. But that doesn't seem to make it any less valid a thought.
でしょそうでしょにひひいいこと言ったよね
And that doesn't mean you need to repeat it. Once was plenty.
海を何よもう言わせてよね私の悩みなんて ちっぽけなものよね。
Michiru's clearly gotten carried away. Might have been a mistake to give her ego a boost like that. In the end, she's nothing more than an idiot. Can't ever get too satisfied with herself. You know, I think that's the problem. We're looking at her like an idiot. I mean, obviously there's more to her than what she puts on. You know, that tsundere is obviously just an act. We know this from day one. So what is she hiding? You know, what is she masking that she doesn't want people to know about? That's what I want to find out. Too exasperated to even sigh, I send Michiru an expressive glare. Not that I'm confident that she'll be able to see the cold pity in my eyes.
ちょっと何見てるの？
Nothing. Nothing at all.
なんでもないのに見るとか意味わか。
It looks like the girl's had a sudden flash of insight. Perhaps she's finally become aware of her own foolishness.
そういう意味じゃないからね。ちっぽけな悩みってそういうことじゃないもん。
As Michiru bobbles on, she moves her arms to hide her tiny chest from view. Look, Maggot, I have no interest in your pitiful excuse for a wreck.
何よ、見てたじゃない。エッチい目で見てたでしょ。それに私、別におおむねちっぽけじゃないもん。あるもん。
A nice body is a term we might use to describe, say, a mane. By any reasonable standard, your breasts are tragically underdeveloped. My condolences.
ちょっとなんだよ、残念じゃないよ。全然残念じゃないもん。マキナの方があれだもん。
That girl's in a whole different category. Are you really happy about winning against an outlier like Machina?
嬉しくな。ちょっと嬉しい。
The corner of Michiru's mouth rise ever so slightly, probably recalling Machina's washboard of the chest that meant to comparing it to her own. What a pity human being. Have you no pride, woman? You might as well gloat about handling your chopsticks better than some tourists from France. Poor France. Man, the whole terrorist thing that happened with France was just horrible. God awful. It's a shame to see how far humanity can sink sometimes. Disgusting.
じゃあね、私お胸大きいもん。大きいんだってば。大きいって言いなさいよね。
They're big.
ミチル様のお胸はとっても大きいですって言いなさいよ。
Michiru-sama's breasts are very large indeed.
なんかムカつく。
Apparently, a complete lack of sincerity got across to you. But anyway, sounds like you cheered up a little at least.
だから最初から元気だって言ってるでしょ。
Who or what is meowing? The black cat from the other day appears from somewhere or other. Purring loudly, it sidles up to Michiru and aggressively rubs against her leg. I see, so you came here in search of a black cat, rather than a blue bird.
そういうわけじゃないんだからね。たまたまですよ。っていうか、この猫初めて見るな。へえ、こんなところに猫がいるとはね。奇遇だなにゃ。
What was this cat's name again? Something like, what was its name? It was something ridiculous and funny.
名前なんてないんじゃない？知らないな。
That's right, it's Rommel. It's not Rommel. I know that.
猫にゃです。
Kitty Meow, that was it.
だよね、そんな変な名前でこの子のこと呼ぶの。あ、
Just as I thought. It's the same animal that was at the school before, isn't it? Didn't know it was your pet.
だから違います。こんな猫知らないもん。
Well, Rommel was an acquaintance of yours.
だから猫にゃだって言ってるで。知らんな。
You dropped the act, okay? You dropped something. Allow me.
いやいいです。拾わんといて。
A carton of milk, eh? It's a bit unusual for you. Usually you just like the vitamin C.
私が牛乳大好きなの知らなかった？確かにみんなの前では一度も飲んだことないけど、大好きでいつも飲んでるのよ。みんなの前では一瞬たりともそんな素振り見せたことはないけどね。
How much energy is she exhausting on a daily basis to try to get people to buy into her lies? It's strange, isn't it? I see, that's good to hear. If by any chance you'd be giving milk to the cat, I would have had to stop you. Milk is actually bad for cats. Did you know that? Yeah, true story.
なんで？
Why? Why would we have to give milk? Why would we have to stop giving milk to the cat? Find out in the next episode on the fruit of Grisaia. Take it easy.